This year with Google's new phones, the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, I'm finding myself in a bit of a strange and honestly just unforeseen dilemma. I can't decide which one of them to buy. Look, I get it. I'm in a privileged position having both of these new phones in my hands and getting to test them and spend time with them over the last 7 days because, we're preparing to review them. And I know that in the grand scheme of things, it's a good problem to have, choosing between two awesome phones. And I've made that statement. This is a good problem to have a bunch of times over the years, but good or bad, a problem's still a problem and problems need to be solved. And I'm struggling to solve this one and decide which of these great phones will ultimately be the one I put in my pocket. So let's talk about it. But before we get into all that, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. They're the VPN of choice for millions of consumers because they're awesome at what they do, and that's keeping your browsing safe and secure whether you're at home or out and about, on a phone, on a Pixel, or on a Chromebook. If you'd like to learn more about them and their services, head over to chromeunbox.com/NordVPN, where you can learn more and get started. Like I said in the open, this isn't our full review, and I'm not going to get into all the weeds and specs and all that stuff unless it helps me make a point in this video. We're working towards that full review, but I can tell you right off the bat, spoiler alert, these are the best Pixel phones to date. Period. This isn't about whether I'm going to actually get a Pixel this year or go with a OnePlus. It's not that at all. Instead, this is about this surprising tug-of-war I'm having in my head about these two very different experiences of using Google's phones this year. So I started with the Pixel 6 Pro on day one because that's what I've always done. With every Pixel, I've always used the XL without question. Every single time. Honestly, there's never been a moment where I even considered buying a Pixel without XL appended to the name. It's what kept me from considering the Pixel 5. It's what made me completely disinterested in even really testing out the Pixel 4a. And even though lots of people love both of those phones, small phones just aren't my thing. For me, a large phone is great for all the stuff I do on a phone, like reading and watching videos and gaming. A small screen just inhibits all that stuff, in my opinion, so I've always gone for the larger screen version of any phone I've ever used if there was that option. So without question, when the larger Pixel 6 Pro looked all set to get an even larger 6.7-inch screen, I was already all in. The bigger the better, right? And then I held it. And after a few hours with it, I wasn't so sold on the whole bigger is better thing anymore. I compared it to my trusty OnePlus 8T, my wife's Pixel 4 XL, and Gabe's OnePlus 9 Pro, and realized it's taller and wider than every one of those already kind of big phones. This thing's a unit. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't feel amazing in the hand. It doesn't mean it isn't gorgeous. And none of this means that the experience of actually using the phone is bad. I wasn't ready for a phone so big that it made me reconsider what my personal limit is on a max size of a phone. I'd have to say that after using the Pixel 6 Pro for a few days, 6.7 inches might just be past the limit for me. And then we have to talk about aesthetics. For me, Pixel phones have had this quality to them over the years. Industrial, simple, elegant. They're not showy or gaudy or super high-end, that's for sure. And though I've long told myself that I'd love to see something like a Samsung Galaxy or OnePlus Pixel, now that a phone in that type of build class is here, I'm not completely convinced that I wanted that. It's a strange thing, but the Pixel 6 Pro just doesn't feel like a Pixel at all to me. It feels far too nice or luxury. I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't put off the standard Pixel vibes to me at all. And again, it's gorgeous and it feels amazing in your hand. There's something that feels almost detached from the Google brand. And again, it just kind of shocked me. So after using the Pro for a few days, I made the move to the Pixel 6. And as soon as I picked it up, I felt those googly vibes, and I'm used to that with a Pixel. It's still nice, it's still well constructed, it's still attractive, but there's something a bit more Google-esque about that phone, and the size is far more manageable too at 6.4 inches, and there's just this immediate feeling of comfort to the entire experience. The screen on the standard Pixel 6 is good, not exceptional. The speakers are good, but not as good as the Pro, and the flat edges on the screen just feel more usable and utilitarian. Picking up the Pixel 6 felt like sliding into a pair of well-worn jeans. It was just comfortable, and it honestly just made me feel comfortable. Sure, the camera system's not quite as good with the missing 4x telephoto lens and slightly degraded selfie shooter. It's 8 megapixel, not 11 like the Pro, but those things aren't that big of a deal to me. After all, I like the idea of a $599 price tag, and I like the feeling of walking around with a deal in my pocket. It's part of the overall Pixel experience. It's part of the charm. And after a weekend with the Pixel 6, it didn't feel like I was even using a new phone at all. It felt broken in. It felt safe. I was ready to declare that I was going to just skip the Pro, but I knew I had to give it one more shot just to be fair. So I put my SIM back into the Pixel 6 Pro and was immediately just melted by the screen. I mean, it's just so good, you all. Then I started typing and realizing how much I love the haptics on the Pro. And I watched a video and remembered how much better the speakers and screen are. And I took a featured image for a post I was working on, and that 4x telephoto lens and its natural bokeh just looks so good. Then I played some games on it, and I was just right back to being completely confused all over again. The Pixel 6 Pro is a stellar departure for Pixel phones, and it's not really googly at all, and now I'm starting to think maybe that's okay. Like, new directions mean like discomfort and stuff like that, and discomfort isn't always a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it just means you get the chance to change and to, I don't know, adapt. And while I still haven't come down on exactly which phone I'm going to end up with, I feel a lot more comfortable looking at the Pixel 6 Pro in that sort of light. It's not trying to be like the Pixels that came before, and that's okay. It's a big, bombastic smartphone, and that's okay too. But with its stellar screen and great speakers and thumpy haptics, its pristine build quality, I'm really starting to feel like maybe it's time for me to change my mindset on what makes a Pixel a Pixel. If that sounds like you and you want the best hardware to enjoy Google's Android experience on, maybe the Pro's for you, assuming you can deal with its size. But that's the beauty of it this year. If all those things I said about the Pixel 6 Pro aren't that important to you and you really love the Google Pixel feel from years past, the Pixel 6 is there to just meet you with open arms. And yeah, it compromises, but I can definitely tell you it's a fantastic phone, and it's going to be the right fit for a lot of people, especially at that $599 starting price. But I can't make that decision for you. Hell, I can barely make it for myself at this point, but I hope that this video has helped you perhaps sort through some of the real-world differences I've come across in these phones that just weren't clear from like spec sheets and press photos. These are two very different takes on what the Pixel experience is, and lucky for all of us Pixel fans this year, both of them are pretty great. But guys, that's it for this one. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos like this one and the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro reviews. Till next time, we'll see you.